everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Brooke if you're new here, and if you're not new here, you already know me. Today I'm going to be talking about writing books. So, as someone who started writing when they were super young, I have books ranging kind of from every age category, and I've kept them all. I don't think I've ever gotten rid of a writing book. They're just so great to have around, and I need all the help I can get, so I will never stop buying writing books. I just think that they have so much valuable information, and it can be so helpful to be able to reference that when you need it. So I'm going to start off with a pretty well-known one. It's Strunk and White's Elements of Style. I don't know, it's pretty glary, but you can probably still see it. So I accidentally bent the cover on it, and I hate myself. I went to Chapters, this was probably 6 months ago now, but I went to Chapters and I saw a hardcover copy of it, and I should have bought it, and I regretted it every day since. But this is great. This is probably the most practical grammar advice and structuring advice that you can ever get. So it has all of these rules in it. I want to say that's, let me see here, I haven't actually read this in a long time, but yeah, rules of usage, matters on form, words and expressions that are commonly misused, elementary principles of composition. So it has so much great practical advice in it, and you can see how small it is, but it is packed full of really, really great writing advice. And I'm pretty sure I read that this was a textbook in a university course way back when, and it's been updated quite a few times. I don't know if this is the newest edition. This is the 4th edition, but yeah, so this is a great book to have around if you are serious about writing. So that's number 1. These are also in no order. I'm just grabbing them as we go. So this is a brand new one that I just bought. It is The Writer's Guide to Character Traits. So it has so much information packed into this book. I mean, it's quite a large book, but I'm just gonna go through the table of contents here. So Chapter 1 is on real people and believable characters. Chapter 2 is adult personality types. Chapter 3 is child and adolescent types. Sorry, this is by Linda N. Edelstein. I think she has a PhD in psychology, if I'm not mistaken. So there's love, marriage, and other arrangements, ordinary and extraordinary events, criminal types. So there are there's so much information on so many diverse characters in here, and I used it to develop some of my character traits for my current novel. This is a great tool for plotting. So I'm definitely going to make more use of this in my fantasy novel, because I didn't have this when I was I shouldn't say I didn't have this when I was plotting my romance novel, because I didn't plot. I would highly recommend this. I haven't read through the entire thing, but it's a great book. This one is Write and Revise for Publication by Jack Smith. And this one is a 6-month plan for crafting an exceptional novel and other works of fiction. I believe that this one includes information on publishing, marketing your work, fine-tuning, improving style, mood, and tone. Chapter 1 is a primer of the elements and techniques of fiction, preparing to write, drafting, revision strategies, revising for strong character, point of view, plot and structure. This has so much great information in it. This is a cheaper one too. This was only $20, so this one I think was a little bit more expensive. Oh no, this one was cheaper. Okay, never mind. This has great tips in it. I haven't read 100% through this one, because I think it's mostly just because I didn't do, I didn't do a ton of plotting for my current novel, so this is something that I kind of picked away at for a while. I don't know when I bought this either. I don't even remember buying this, but so yes, Write and Revise for Publication by Jack Smith. This one I have had for a really long time. I don't even know if you can read this. It's How to Write by Alistair Fowler. Yeah, a couple of these books, I don't even know if you can get them anymore, to be honest. I've looked for them to link, but with no luck. So this one just has a ton of practical information in it. It talks about a lot of things that are kind of, this is more of a basic thing, I think. So the first chapter is pen and computer. So it's talking about the medium you're using to write. It has a lot of good information in it, but it is a bit more, I think, simple. So, and it's a lot more, I want to say, like, grammatically focused. So we have paragraphs, paragraph types, arguments, sentences, word order, punctuation, quotation. So, and there is some information in here about revising, doing research, reference books. So, but I think this is definitely, it's less about, like, I don't think there's anything about publication in here. It's strictly writing. And I think this is more of a basic look at it. So if you're looking for something more in-depth, this might not be the one that you want. The next book is one I've had since I was super, super young. It's Spilling Ink by Anne Mazur and Ellen Potter. So if you can see on the bottom there, it says Scholastics. I'm pretty sure I got this from a Scholastics book order when I was in middle school. This is the most adorable writing book for kids that I've ever seen, and I think it actually holds a lot of valuable information. It's definitely simplified a lot because it's geared toward a younger audience. It's called A Young Writer's Handbook. This is a well-loved book. I like annotated this when I was younger too, and oh, my name is in it. That is the cutest thing ever. So it's split into parts, so it has part 1, part 2, and part 3. So there's a lot of information about building characters. There's stuff about plot, narrative, settings, writer's block. There's a whole section that's called the writer's brain. So there's the writing process, criticism, writer's block, writer's identity, the writing habit. It's a really, really cute, adorable book, and if anyone knows any young writers, I would highly recommend this one because it is such a great introduction to writing. It's a very broken down and simplified look at writing, and it's maybe not necessarily specifically about writing a novel, but just writing in general, I think. So you're just focused on developing your skills as a writer. I don't even know if this is available. Oh, it says this edition is available for distribution only through the school market. Like, I mean, I probably got this, man, how many years ago? Like 12 years ago? I don't even know, honestly. So, but Spilling Ink. I'll do my other old book. So this is The Weekend Novelist by Robert J. Ray. Oh my gosh, it's so bright. So this is a really, really cool book. So it's a dynamic 52-week program to help you produce a finished novel 1 weekend at a time. So it's geared towards people who are working full-time and only able to write, say, on the weekends, or whatever your writing days are. So it's a 52-week plan on how to write your novel, and it's actually, I want to say it's broken down into days. Maybe not. I swear I had a book that broke it down into days, but I don't know where it went. So we have 9 parts or 10 parts. So there's getting started, warming up, character work, scene building, plotting. This one does not cover publishing. It's strictly just writing your novel. Yeah, so 52 weekends is your plan, and it lays it out for you, like what you should be doing each weekend. It tells you how to structure your writing on the weekends. It talks about writing tools. It talks about books. There's a ton of writing tips in here. It is just a great resource, and it's a very neat idea to be geared towards people who are working maybe full-time and don't have the opportunity to write all week like some others. So yeah, this is a really good book. I really enjoy this one. You guys have seen this one before if you looked or if you watched my recent book haul. I'll put a card somewhere up here for it. I just got this one. It is Reading Like a Writer by Francine Prose, and it's a guide for people who love books and for those who want to write them. So I haven't read this yet, but my expectation for it is that it's going to teach you how to take more away from the books you read in terms of, you know, learning how to be a better writer. That's what my hope is. Anyways, I should probably start this today, but yeah, so I just bought this one. I'm hoping that it is going to be good, and maybe I'll do a review on it when I finish it. I saw some conflicting reviews on it, I think, but I think it was people who thought it was just like how to be a better reader. I'm not sure if they necessarily were writers. I think that that's what I had read, so I'm gonna see what I think of it, but I think it was pretty cheap too. I think I got it on sale. So I have one more book left. This is was my most recent purchase, excluding this one that I just showed you. It is also my most expensive book. I have a piece of tape stuck to it, so that's awesome. This one, I think it was like, oh yeah, it was like $45. So it's definitely my most expensive writing book to date. It is Jeff Herman's Guide to Book Publishers, Editors, and Literary Agents, Who They Are, What They Want, and How to Win Them Over. It is a beautiful, beautiful book. It is the 28th edition, and honestly, I am so glad to have this. It's focused on, obviously, publishing and querying agents. Like, I honestly, before I bought this book, I didn't know anything about how to publish. I didn't know anything about querying agents. It outlines how to write a query letter, and I think it actually has publishers' names in here. It might even have some agent names in here. It has tons of additional references in terms of like people to contact and websites to go to. So, oh, it still smells new too. I have not read all of this. Like, this is literally, I don't know if you can see, but this is how much I've read. And I definitely want to read completely through this because it's obviously going to be an incredible resource for me. But I'm not quite there yet. I'm not quite at the publishing stage, and I find that sometimes I get ahead of myself. So if I start thinking about publishing, I don't forget about my smaller goals, but they seem less exciting. So I need to kind of focus on that. But let me just tell you a little bit about what's in here. So we'll go to the table of contents, and apparently I don't know where it is. So we have advice for writers, publishing conglomerates, independent press, literary agents, and independent editors. So within these, the first 72 pages is all advice for writers. There's a ton of information about publishing conglomerates. So we have an introduction to the Big Five, which is Hachette Book Group, HarperCollins, Macmillan, Penguin Random House, and Simon & Schuster. And then we talk about independent press, querying literary agents, which is something that was completely foreign to me, and I learned it in this book. Introduction to editors versus scammers, an editor of one's own, when to call the book doctor. So yeah, I really think this is a good resource. It is a little pricey, so I mean, unless you really think you need it, then obviously don't get it, because there is a ton of information that you can get online about all of this stuff too. Like, it's so easy nowadays to just go on the internet and get writing information online. I personally am a huge fan of actually reading reference books for writing. When I was a kid, I mean, the internet advice was a lot less accessible than it is now. So this kind of stuff, that's why I have so many old books as well. I have more on my shelf, but I wanted to just show you kind of my favorite ones. But yeah, so if you guys have any books that you guys like, please leave them in the comments below and share with other people, because I'm sure we could all use, more books. That's really what we're all about here. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so you get notifications of my upcoming videos. Comment if you liked it, or comment on what other videos you want to see me do if you're interested in some other kind of information or advice. Not that I'm really qualified to give anybody advice, but I can try. And yeah, that's it. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye!